Alright, what's up? Welcome to the video. There's two things I want to say before we go ahead and get started. Firstly, this is not my build. The credit for this build goes to Skipper Gripper. That's where I got this build from. It's called Celestial Saint V2. So just go to his channel. It's one of his more recent videos, but if you can't find it, just search Celestial Saint V2 on like in the search bar, like Deepwoken Celestial Saint V2 or something, and it'll pop up. The second thing is I have a new Discord server. If any of you want to join, it's kind of barren right now because I just made it and I haven't had any videos to like promote it. But yeah, I'm gonna put it in the description, so if you want to join it, then go ahead. So yeah, this video is gonna be something kind of different than what I usually do. Usually I'll just make like not progression videos, but like build videos, just give a build that I think is decent that I try to make, and yeah. But for this video, we're gonna be doing something completely different. We're just going to be reviewing other builds. So Skipper Gripper is a very known like PvE guy within the Deepwoken community. So the way that we're going to be like, I guess, deciding how good the build is we're going to be ranking its progression, how good it is at its purpose, and how easy it is to use. Those are the three things that I thought would probably be important. If there's something else that I should include within that list, if I make a video like this in the future, then definitely feel free to leave it down in the comments. So I'm gonna be ranking everything on a scale of 1 to 10. Alright, so to start off with, the progression. So the way that I progress the build, as you'll see from the builder, is a little bit different because I didn't go unlock I didn't go unlock Frostraw at all. I didn't get it. So it was even easier for me. The progression in the video, I would probably give it maybe like a 6 to 7 out of 10, just because you have to go Kaido pre-shrine and you need to get another attunement. But if I'm ranking like just based off of, I'm gonna do this video based off of how I made the build, so I'd probably give it like a 7 to 8 out of 10 for the progression, because it's really just 50 Fortitude, 40 Willpower, 40 Flame Charm, make sure you get Shadow Cast, and then Shrine of Order, then it's just stats from there. So it really wasn't too bad. There wasn't too many there wasn't too many talents that you needed pre-shrine, and you can just Shrine of Chance if you really need to, if you're missing anything. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick with a 7.5 out of 10 for its progression. So how good it is at its purpose, I'm gonna go ahead and say 10 out of 10, because in the run that I'm gonna show for layer 2, I was extremely inefficient with pretty much everything I did, and it still easily 2-cycled, which I think it could, like, the version that I use, I'm pretty sure could still 1-cycle, but if you optimize it the most that you can, like how Skipper Gripper does, then you could easily just get a 1-cycle grip and you'd be fine. So 10 out of 10 for how good it is at its purpose. It's definitely going to be good for other bosses. I know I didn't show it, but it's good for Primadon, and it's also good for, like, you can do Ferryman with relative ease while using this build too, as long as you just know his attack pattern. So 10 out of 10 for how good it is at its purpose. Now how easy it is to use, I'm going to give it an 8 to 9 out of 10. I will just stick with an 8.5. No, I would just give it a 9, because I mean, some people, I guess, don't really like to have to proc a bunch of different buffs, but really all you have to do is just Shade Devour, Flame Within, Taunt, and Inhale, and then you just M1 and mix in your mantras with it. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for how easy it is to use. It's very simplistic, there's not really much to it. So I mean, it might be just a couple buffs that you need to apply, but it's really not hard at all. So yeah, unless you want to like throw in Spine Cutter, which isn't too hard. The only thing that I guess if I did factor in would probably bring it down is wave dashing, but once you learn how to wave dash, it's pretty easy. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the builder, but that's just my thoughts on the build. So yeah. Alright, so now on to the builder. I progressed this race on Adrit. I think the only difference with this version of the build, depending on your race, is if you have innate intelligence, so you might need like 2 to 3 less into Gale Breath or whatever you decide to do with your last 8 points, or I guess it would end up being 5 to 6 points left over if you have something with innate intelligence. But I progress it on Adrit, your Oath. Now the way that I did it, I didn't even get an Oath for my version of the build, but you could really get Dawnwalker, you could get anything really if you like, anything that the stats meet, you could get that Oath. For your Murmur, Ardor, obviously, your Bell, Crazy Slots, just for the insane damage. I went Deep Bound, but you can progress however you want, and then Prophet's Cloak. Now, my version of the build does not actually have Prophet's Cloak on. I'm just using the basic Deep Bound armor, so that's slightly less damage in the version that I used. So, your pre-shrine stats, you're going to want to go 1, 50, 1, 0, 40, and then for Adrit, you would obviously have 4 charisma, but any other race you might have just 1. Just if you have a race with innate strength, then you know it'd be 3 or 4. It just depends. Just make sure you put 1 into each of these stats, as well as heavy, and then you'll go 40 flame charm. And I started off with Gale Breath, so I had 5 into Gale Breath, and then you'll also get Shadow Cast pre-shrine. Now the way that I progress the build is the same as Skipper Gripper. You go 20 into willpower, and then I went a few more into fortitude until I leveled up, and then I went into 40 flame charm, and then 50 fortitude, 40 willpower, put 1 into every necessary stat, and then Shrine of Order. Now from here I went 20 strength, because I really don't think you need to lose your mind, 25 agility, 25 charisma, and then I went 80 Gale Breath, 20 Shadow Cast, and then 100 heavy. Now from here, if you have a race that does not have innate intelligence, you'll have 8 stat points left over. I just put them back into Gale Breath just for slightly more damage, but the damage probably isn't going to be noticeable. But it's completely up to you what you do with those last 8 points. It's 2 away from being able to get Lose Your Mind, but I mean, Lose Your Mind is not really going to be all that useful in the build, especially if you're using it for the purpose, like only for using it for boss killing, which is, I'm pretty sure, what he said it was used for in the video title, so that's what I used it for. For your stats, you could go into like a mix of vitality, song chant, and proficiency, but I would recommend definitely having 6 proficiency. I went 6 song chant as well, but you could maybe go 3 song chant, 3 vitality if you wanted some more tankiness. For your boons and flaws, since I'm Adrit, I went autodidact and steadfast, and then my flaws, you could probably go simple if you want to, but I just don't like, I know it's only slightly slower, I just don't like it, but I went obvious and squeamish. Now for your talents, condition runner is just nice HP. It's good for Aetheron if you do him, like it's just nice to have. Aurora without song and possession, you really don't need possession if you don't want to. It's posture damage, which I mean it might be useful for Primadon or just anything that you can stun, but it's completely up to you whether or not you want to get it. Wyvern's Claw, you're not always going to proc it, but it's extra damage. Carnivore, just for hunger. I saw Skipper Gripper get Rending Impact. I'm not really sure what it's used for, but I picked it up as well. Evasive Experts. Yeah, Evasive Experts and risky moves. Spine Cutter, I grabbed it, but you really don't have to. It's not all that great. I didn't even use it on Chaser because I'm not that good at proccing it. Fishman, Exoskeleton into the finish just for 5 health, and then Tinkiness. Neuroplasticity for an extra wildcard slot. Thresher Claws for Pen. Let's see. Blood Iron Spirit for 5 HP and just for your armor. Speed Demon for damage. Scuba Drowner for HP and I guess just 3 agility is just cool to have. I got all 3 of these. I don't think you really need steady footing at all, but kickoff, time to go just for speed boost, and then just kickoff is just nice to have to go to climb. Suffocating Impact, again, I'm not really sure what this does, but Skipper Gripper said it was good, so I picked it up. Flame Within, Grand Feast. Flame Within, obviously just extra damage. None of the Bastion talents. I got Brazen Blow and Impairing Blow because I also did get Sunken Predator, but you really don't need it, and I don't know if these proc on other things as well, but I'm not too sure if Brazen Blow or Sunken Predator would count in layer 2, but if you want to get it. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference unless you're using this build for other things, like maybe you're using it for Hell Mode. Swift Rebound, obviously need to get that. Underdog for damage, Charismatic Cast and Self Love for resistance and damage. Let's see. Meteor Impact, I mean, if you want to grab these, it's up to you. Cauterized Wounds just for less blood drain. You're obviously going to get those. Produce Spark, maybe if that's how you want to set Chaser on fire, you could grab that. Gale Breath Unbound is 10 10 HP, you're gonna get that automatically. Same with Master Gale Breather. Aftercut and Inhale are both free damage. Now, Immolation is something you need to make sure you pick up pre-shrine because it's gonna make it so your Flame Within does way less damage. So just make sure you get that. That is extremely important. Uproar, you could get this if you're using the build for something other than bosses, like I said, but I mean it's just really not that important. Last Resort, just in case you get low, just put out that little bit more damage. Old Habits for 5 HP, same with Breathing Exercises. Now, Dragon Song, Full Reset, Replenishing Knockout, and Ready or Not are completely up to you whether or not you get these. Like I said, if you're just using this build for bosses, none of these are really all that useful except for maybe Dragon Song, just so you can get some ether back. But it's completely up to you if you want to take these. I got Ready or Not and Replenishing Knockout. You really don't need Full Reset, but you can take it because Crazy Slots really already has a low cooldown. Armor Conserver, Steel Scales and Padded Armor just for some extra defense. Fast Blade and Speed Emission just for proccing that speed boost. And then I took Pocket Bombs just for the 5 HP. I did not get any of the shield talents. I did get Apparitions for more damage, Phantom Step for mobility, Magical Resolve, Cap Artist so that you can wave dash, Spinning Swordsman for damage, and then I don't remember if I took Matador or not, but I don't even know if Chaser has Hyper Armor. But Matador and then Warrior Swing. So you can see there low-key is well, there's not really a lot of talents because I also did pick up the Unbounding talent, so it's not really 50 whole talents that you're gonna have to go for. But 15 rares, and I'm pretty sure some of those aren't insanely useful. I'm gonna go ahead and take the talents that you are probably just gonna have. But really the main one is just Thresher Scales is 5 extra HP if you do that. Now I recommend you go do the Thresher Scales quest because you only ever have to do it once, and then that's a free 5 HP on every single build that you get once you get to level 10. So now onto your mantras. Now Tornado, if you like after you get an Oath, you could probably have Tornado, but I just didn't take it. I probably should have. It probably would have helped out a lot, would have been extra damage, but I didn't take it. Gale Lunge, you also don't take on my version of the build because you don't have Glacial Arc. But if you wanted it to be more optimized, like Skipper Grippers and go watch his, he optimizes it more for better layer 2 speedrunning. Heavenly Wind for wave dashing. Gale Punch just for damage. Or well, damage and what's it called? Gale Punch for damage and chain stacks. Updraft is completely up to you whether or not you take it, but I think it's really good damage in my opinion. So Updraft, or if you want to switch it out with Tornado, then switch it out with Tornado. So Shade Devour and then Taunt for some extra damage, and these are all the mantras I took. So you can see we're only at 2 wild cards, so you really do not need to take you don't need any Oath. But oh yeah, and then last thing I completely forgot is, where is it? Wind Passage. So I put a blue gem on everything except for Updraft has a Blessed, and Shade Devour has 3 Vibrant Gems and 3 Eternal Logstones. I don't remember if Aeon Logstones are better, but I just didn't have any, so I didn't use them. Wind Passage has 3 Perfect Lenses, 2 Crystal Lenses, as well as a blue gem, and then those are all the modifiers for everything. So everything else has a blue gem except for Updraft, which has a Blessed, which I mean you could really just put a blue gem on it. For your weapon, you're going to want a 3-star damage. Enforcer's Axe is what you'll normally take. And then I'm going to go ahead and do Grim because Astral doesn't show. But yeah. And then for my build, I had around 40% DVM. But if you have a good kit, around 60. Like, I'm pretty sure that's around what the max is. That's what you'll be doing. Ishin's Ring just to keep, because realistically not all of these are always going to stay procced. Like, I can go ahead and uncheck. If we take off Last Resort and we take off Wyvern's Claw, which I think are the 2 like realistically not gonna stay procced, Ishin's Ring will still keep you at that max damage cap, but you'll take an Ishin's Ring. I think it was a Strength, Charisma, and Willpower ring. The rings don't really matter, just make sure that they have DPM on them. But 3-star Enforcer, ooh, that says Hammer. Enforcer Axe is what you'll take, and then with Crazy Slots, you want the Divine Axe. Now this is absolutely insane damage if you do have that DVM kit. Like this is crazy in my opinion. But yeah, it's really easy to keep all of the buffs procced, and then if you also take Ardor Scream, I'm pretty sure that bypasses cap. So if you want to mix that in too, which I did not, which I'm pretty sure you probably should, because that's what Skipper Gripper did in his video. But yeah, we go to the summary. It's only 72.5 extra health, and unless you take the points out of Song Chant and go into Vitality, hold on, that is definitely an option. If you do that, then you'll end up with 132, and then if you go 3 and 3, then you'll have 102. So it's completely up to you how you want to do the stats, but I went just for the most damage, so I went 6 proficiency, 6 Song Chant. But yeah, that's pretty much the builder. If you have any questions about it, just leave it in the comments. But yeah, if you want a more optimized version, especially for speedrunning Layer 2 that takes Frost Draw, go watch Skipper Gripper's video, because his version is definitely better, and he also uses it better because he's just better at PvE than I am. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get into a Layer 2 run that I did with this build, which I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but it was completely trash. Like, it was not optimized. It was like, I don't know, it was just very inefficient in the way that I did it. So yeah, it wasn't extremely slow, but I could have definitely one cycle chaser with this build. So I'm not gonna judge like how good the build is off of how bad I was with it. It's still definitely a 10 out of 10 in my opinion, just because it's so easy. Like, the build would probably get like a, maybe not a 10 out of 10, I'd say like a high 9, like 9.6 out of 10 in my opinion, because it's really easy to use, it's really good. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get into that clip. I hope you enjoy, and yeah. Alright, I pretty much just spawned in, so we're gonna go ahead and start. Now for Bonekeeper, I'm probably gonna kill him just a little bit slow, because my my kit only has maybe like 38% DPM. I forgot what it was. It might be 40 now. Oh, that was an accident. But the point is, I just don't have that much DPM on my kit. Okay, that kind of sucked. I'm not sure how fast this way is going to be compared to going normally, but I just don't have Gale Lunge and Glacial Arc, so because I just didn't want to prog the build. I'm also going slow with these ladders, so that's probably also not helping me out at all. But I just didn't want to have to unlock Frost Draw on top of Shadowcast. I feel like for me it was just really easy to only unlock Shadowcast, because you know, I just prog in the depths mostly, and I only had to leave for, of course I got the guns, but I only had to leave to upgrade Gale and to get Ardor Scream. Or not Ardor Scream, but Ardor Manifestation. Yeah, I messed up trying to proc this. Come on, if I would have got the Gale Punch off before that, then we would have been a lot faster. And also, if I would have got the right Crazy Slots weapon, we would have been good. And I'm not really too good at wave dashing, so it might take me a minute to get it right here, but like right here. Okay, so I didn't even cap Artist, so I'm just gonna skip to my next attempt. Alright, there we go. If you want to take no fall damage when you do that, probably just like get out of the cap artist a little bit sooner, so you can wind passage. I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea how to wave dash until I made this build, because I've just never used it like that tech before. But yeah, I like it took me like a solid 20 minutes to learn how to do it, if I'm being honest. It was extremely hard for no reason. Right here you would have wave dashed off that way and then went to this little corner, and then you would have Glacial Arced up somewhere, but as I said, we do not have Glacial Arc, so we're just gonna go through here. Wind passage is really just what's useful right here. Of course I get the guns, so why wouldn't I? No, what is this? Okay, so this is ruining the run horribly. Okay, there we go. Maybe getting the guns right there was a blessing in disguise. But, oh, okay. If you make the build like exactly how Skipper Gripper makes it, then you'd definitely be getting a lot faster times on this. I just didn't want to optimize it as much as he did. I don't really care about getting like sub 4-minute runs. But okay. And my route is probably also not the most optimal at all. Even without Glacial Arc, there's probably a faster way to go. I just don't know about it. But yeah. Of course, we do not get the weapon again. Why am I not inhaling? Where'd he go? Okay, are we serious, man? Okay. The only reason I kept the sword out was to farm chains a little bit better. But as you guys can see, this run is insanely inefficient. Like so far. This is not at all a good run. Really? And I just lost all the chains right there. I'm only gonna M1 so I can try to build them back up. Yeah. Okay, that's really annoying. You guys can see this is like the most inefficient build. This is the most inefficient run I've like ever done of anything, honestly. Okay. Please. Okay. We're at 4 minutes right now, which I could have definitely got here a lot faster. Like, I feel like we could have got here at 3 minutes. Okay. Nope, never mind. I thought that was the Great Sword. Alright, I really want to try to show this build at its absolute best, so I'm not going to do anything other than the Great Sword or Great Axe. There we go. So we're going to inhale. I start with updraft. Oh, maybe that wasn't the move. I didn't parry fast enough. Alright. I really just want to keep these chains to make sure I can kill him. Alright, then I use Shade Devour. Flame Within. And then I use Chains. Why not? As you guys can see, I had no chains that time, like while I was doing that, and I still got him down to half. So at the absolute worst, you might just have to 2-cycle. But if I had kept up Chains of Perfection like I had from the very first Wound Keeper that I had built it off of, then this would have been a good run, and it would have been an easy 1-cycle. Like, this just does insane damage. Hold on, I think I can grip him. There we go. It says 19 minutes. It's insane. But yeah, so this build is really good, as you guys can see. No Chains of Perfection. It's an easy 2-cycle. But with chains, if I would have kept it built up, it would have been even better, obviously. But yeah. And then the run was, what, 6 minutes? I don't know what the actual time was. I don't know why it says 1939. But if you just lock in and don't make all of the mistakes that I made during that entire run, or if you make the build exactly how it was shown in Skipper Gripper's video, which just look up Celestial Saint V2 Skipper Gripper or something and you'll find it. But yeah, this build is really good.